here for you today with this week's energy and tarot reading. So today we are going to break down the universal energy, the energy that all of us are experiencing here on this planet right now, and how we can best navigate it. How can we best get through this week around all of this energy that we have going on. So before I dive into the reading, I want to talk about, I do have on my website, I've had a lot of people asking me about intuition and how can they work on connecting with their own intuition, which is so important to me and such an important part of the work that I do. And I have posted on my website a course for Intuition 101 that you can access at any time after you purchase that, and it covers basically all that you need to know to get started with connecting with your intuition. So since that was mentioned so much this week, I thought that I would mention that, and that's on my website at discoveryourawakening.com. Hi Mom, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys say hi if you're watching. So we are going to dig into this energy a little bit. And the first thing that I want to say is I think that there's been a lot of overwhelming energy and a lot of overwhelming circumstances. And what people do when they feel overwhelmed, when they feel worried, when they're afraid to get hurt or take a risk or whatever it is, like whenever we get afraid, we have this tendency to shut our heart chakra down. We have this tendency to say, I'm just going to protect myself, whether that's conscious or unconscious. We just tend to do that. And what happens is when we shut that heart chakra down, we disconnect ourselves not only from the world around us and from the people around us, but we also disconnect ourselves from our higher power, what I call God. And so that leads us into a place where we're becoming more and more negative, and we're taking on more and more negative energy, and we start to feel lonely, disconnected, bad, down, whatever. And I think right now, especially with the intensity of the energy that we have going on, and especially the intensity of the energy that we have coming up, it's going to be really important for you to be very mindful about keeping that heart chakra open, about being willing to take risks, about being willing to let people in, let new circumstances in, let yourself experience this world the way that you were intended to experience it. And that's not with a heart that's halfway closed or all the way closed. We're here to experience it all. And so you might need to take a risk. You might need to push yourself. You probably will need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. But if you can do that, I really feel like we're going to be navigating this energy so much better this week. And I also feel like we're just in a place where there's going to be kind of these nitpicky little problems that are showing up, like just not major stuff, but annoying little things. And our ego is going to want to obsess about it, or our ego is going to want to handle it or fix it or whatever it is. But I think more importantly, we need to just work on rising above it. If it's not in the grand scheme of things that big a deal in your life, you need to let it go, and you need to work on letting it go. However you need to do that, whether you need to distract yourself, whether you need to actively work on consciously releasing that, it's going to be really important for you to let that go. Because if you dwell on that stuff, number one, your heart chakra is probably going to feel more closed because you're going to feel overwhelmed. But number two, I think that you're going to be putting your energy into things that don't really matter, because at the end of the day, all of this little stuff is going to resolve itself. And these are just kind of showing up as little annoyances, and I think for a bigger purpose as well. So we've got to just kind of allow that to happen, rise above it, not dive into that too much, and let ourselves stay above that. Hi Chelsea, thanks for watching. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that, and then we are stepping into, as we move into July, and as we move on July 7th, we're going to be moving into Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde is one of the things that comes up with it is challenges with communication. And I feel like right now we have this energetic pocket of this is the time to communicate. This is the time to say what you need to say, to have these conversations that you need to have. And again, have these conversations with your heart open. Let yourself listen to what the other person has to say. Let yourself empathize with what the other person or people has to say. And really try to listen, not for the sake of arguing, but listen for the sake of just being open and hearing and understanding other people. I think that if we can do that with the people in our life that are most important to us, this is going to help create a solid foundation as we're stepping into some of this other energy. So we want to just make sure that we are doing that and that we are expressing ourselves, but we are expressing ourselves with love and compassion, and that we are also, as part of that communication, being good listeners through the process. So let's see, am I missing anything else? Oh, the other part of it is that we have stepped into this energy that's really shining a light on truth, right? Whether it's our own personal truths, whether it's truths about other people. I think a lot is coming out about people being dishonest with us, or how they maybe have been dishonest with us, but also more importantly, how we've been dishonest with ourselves. And what is it that, we need to face? What is it that we need to understand? And I think if we're allowing that to come through, and we're just kind of honoring it rather than trying to fight it or trying to argue with it, we can learn a lot about ourselves, and we can learn a lot about what we need moving forward. So this is going to be really important moving forward. So let me know how you guys are doing with the energy while I'm mixing these cards up. We'll take a peek at what the tarot cards have to say. Make sure you say hi if you're watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I think it's funny. It's hard for me to pull these cards. Like, they're not pulling right now as easily. But I think that's very representative, too, of there's a little bit of indecisive energy right now. We're trying to make sense of things. We're trying to clarify things. And I think not all the answers are necessarily coming right away, which is okay. Sometimes it's okay to take some time and process that slowly. Okay. So the very first thing I want to pull is, I pulled some of my fairy cards today, and these are the theme cards for what we have going on this week, okay? So the very first one is honor your true feelings, right? Which is very in alignment with this Neptune retrograde that we have going on, with this concept of connecting with our truth, right? Listen to your truth. What do you really want? What do you really feel? And going for it, even if you feel afraid, right? Honoring your truth, listening to that voice that is telling you your truth. Stop ignoring it. If you keep ignoring it, it is going to get more and more uncomfortable for you and your life. And then we have dreams coming true, okay? So there's a little bit of magic right now helping us to live the life of our dreams. If we can keep listening to the intuition, if we can keep taking inspired action as we feel compelled to do so, and as we just keep tuning in and tapping into our soul. So making sure that we are doing that. So let's take a look at our angel cards. Here we have the Justice card, okay? So again, this is very much like a feeling of, and I think that I pulled this for the end of last week, it's very much a feeling of justice being served, okay? So if you're feeling like something isn't fair, if you're feeling like something hasn't been handled, I think that this week you may find that there's some good energy around that, around justice being served. But this, to me, I also want to talk about just making sure that we are honoring and following the golden rule. For me, it's one of the most important things in my life, is this concept of treating people the way that I want people to treat me, and really trying to live my life by that. And I feel like with this card this week that it's really important for us to make sure that we're giving extra attention to this golden rule, doing what's right, doing what you know is right, honoring people in the way that you know that you should be honoring them, and being really careful to not let that ego get in the way, to not let that anger or that upset or whatever it is lead your behaviors. Instead, tuning in to what really is right here and how should I really handle this in a fair and just way that's going to honor myself but also other people as well. We also have the balance card reversed, okay? So maybe we're feeling kind of out of balance. Maybe all this energy has shaken us up a little bit. Maybe we're not feeling quite on track. I feel like with this stuff, we want to make sure that we are recreating a little bit of structure for ourselves. We want to make sure that we are scheduling in time for self-care, that we are taking a little bit extra time out to make sure that we're taking good care of ourselves, that we're getting to bed as early as possible, that we're eating the best high vibrational foods that we possibly can, that we're drinking lots of water, that we're doing all of the things that we know we need for balance, and giving that some extra attention. And then we have this card, the Four of Air reverse, showing up right after that. So again, this suggests to me that we're struggling with some stuff, right? And that we're needing to rest, that we're needing a vacation, that we're needing to take a little time away. And for those things, those questions that we have that we're not sure we have an answer to, we want to take a little time away, let ourselves feel it out, because I think that this is where the answers come, when you can step away from all of the noise and just allow for those to come in. And then we have the Two of Earth. Again, this card says too much going on at once. We have a lot going on. We might feel overwhelmed. We might not feel like we are at our best, or that we are balancing everything, that we're getting to everything that we need to get to. And this really is an important week for taking action and doing the things that we need to do that are in alignment with our dreams and our goals. So there is a little bit of that energetic pressure, and we should be following that, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we are balancing that out. And this card also says the need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. So I do feel like there's some decisions that we need to make. There's some conclusions that we do need to come to. And yes, take the time to process it, to feel it out, to make sure that you have the right answer, because you have all of the answers within. But also consider, how can I be more playful in my life, or in coming up with this answer? Sometimes when you just go and do something fun, the answers come. What do I need to allow more play, more laughter, more fun into my life? And will this allow the answers to come? I believe that it will. So allowing that to happen. And here we have the Dreamer card, which pops up a lot in these readings lately, but I think this is because we really are stepping into a new life. We are beginning to listen to our souls. We are beginning to take steps in the direction of whatever it is that's in the next phase of our lives, whether we're starting a business, whether we're moving, whether we're making a change, whatever this new phase is, whether we're getting a new job, whatever, we are taking leaps of faith. We are following our dreams. We're listening to our soul. The Dreamer card is very much taking a leap of faith based on what your soul is telling you to do. So making sure that you are doing that, making sure that you are honoring that. And I feel like there's some great energy around that. And this is a great time for you to get started with some things, or to be building on some things before we step into that Mercury retrograde, where it's going to be slowed down a little bit, where it's going to be more of a reflective time. So that's really important. And then we have the last card, okay? So this is suggesting to me that maybe we are feeling a little disconnected from ourselves, from our belief in ourselves, from our belief in our abilities. And this is just a reminder that you are amazing, and that each and every one of us has our gifts. And if you can tap into those gifts, if you can listen to those gifts, if you can allow those to drive your car in a lot of ways, if you can let those be a huge focus for yourself in your life, and a huge focus for your time and your energy, I think that you're going to find that you're feeling more confident and able to believe in yourself. So it's going to be really, really important for us to not give up on ourselves and not give up on our dreams, even if you're frustrated, even if you're feeling stuck, even if it's feeling like nothing is happening. Understand that there's a lot of things always happening behind the scenes, trying to help us with whatever it is that we are intending to work on. And if it's for your highest and best good, it's going to happen. It just has to happen in its own divine timing. So those are your cards for this week. If there's somebody that you think could benefit from this reading, make sure you tag them below, or it's always helpful for me if you share my videos. I always appreciate that. If you want to learn more about me or about Clarity by Christy, you can check me out at discoveryourawakening.com. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you soon with another video.